Dunedin. No fans in the zoo, unfortunately, for this one, but we've got the Southern Derby, the Crusaders taking on the Highlanders. Obviously, we all remember last time these two teams clashed was that great Highlanders victory in Christchurch on, I think it was Easter Friday last year, but that hasn't deterred the bookies. They've still made the Crusaders big favourites here, 11.5 points at the time of recording, and I think that's getting bigger. The $1.20 head to head. Can the Crusaders do what the Chiefs did to the Highlanders, do you think, Richard, like with their pack, or is it going to be a bit more of a wide open game, this one?
Well, I mean, I think the Crusaders got the same pack as last week, from what I can see. I mean, there's still plenty of talent, plenty of big names in there. I think they definitely can. Yeah. I mean, the Crusaders probably have a bit more talent. Yeah, out in that sort of, well, their whole back line basically. But I think with the likes of sort of, I thought the Fords probably did their job last week. I was particularly I thought Brody McAllister had a great game. With Cody Taylor still out, still is he just All Black rest?
I presume it's just All Black rest, right? We haven't heard anything about an injury. So
I thought he had a great game. I thought Tom Christie was really good. And I think that they'll. I'm expecting the Highlanders to have another tough game, to be honest.
How about you, Paul? Are you equally as pessimistic about the Southerners' chances?
Yeah, you can never write the Highlanders off in a Southern Derby, but I'm writing them off. I just can't see where they outmatch the Crusaders on the field. Once again, that Crusaders pack will be better for a game under their belt. We saw what the back line can do, as you say, and it's not just Whainuku that runs good lines. The whole back line knows exactly the lines to run to put each other in a the best position to either extract points or to gain over the advantage line. So it's just wait till Mo'unga gets back. This is just ridiculous. They just look just the complete package, and early on in the season they all seem to be on the same page as well, which should be fairly scary for the other teams in the competition, because like most Crusader side, I expect them to just get better and better as the season goes along. So the money's also come early on for the Crusaders. So we've seen them move. I think they were 9.5 point favourites when this first opened at the beginning of the week. What are they now? 11 or 11.5. So the early money is usually a pretty good indication. So, and I'm on that as well. I think the Crusaders will be just a wee bit too strong for the Highlanders here.
Were they that convincing against the Hurricanes, really, though? Like, we were one Asafomo and knee away from the Hurricanes being up 8 points at half time. Like, they had that brilliant 15-minute spell. But yeah, like, obviously, a lot of it I thought was individual brilliance. Like, you had Will Jordan out the back every time he got his hands on the ball, just putting chaos in the Hurricanes' defensive line. But other than that, I don't know. Like,
I did note down they only played about 30 minutes of good footy, but I think the Highlanders themselves really did.
Oh yeah, the Highlanders were
like, their error rate was far too high. There was very little to, and I think that this whole there's been a lot of talk about that game last year in Christchurch where the Highlanders went down and absolutely smoked them. I think there's been a lot of talk, and I think I was reading Scott Robinson said they're fired up about that. So I think that's probably going to work against the Highlanders, and the Crusaders won't be taking them lightly. They'll know what the Highlanders are capable of. But yeah, I just think just on paper, Crusaders. I think they just look way too good.
Plus the fact that the Crusaders had less possession and less field position than the Hurricanes, I think showed that when they do get down the other end of the field, they convert that pressure into points. They did that against the Hurricanes. So I think they'll have a wee bit more possession against the Highlanders, and I think they'll have better field position. And so I can see them putting on a wee bit of a score. The Highlanders won't lie down, obviously, but I just think the fact that they were able to have a 10-point victory over the Hurricanes with less possession and less field position just goes to show. I mean, perhaps of the officials. It opened both eyes. It may have been a wee bit different, but once again they just cruised along and never really looked like they were in too much trouble. There was that thing just before halftime, as you say, where the Hurricanes could have scored a try, and then the Crusaders went down the other end of the field, got a penalty, and kicked it. That's a 10-point swing just before halftime. But that's what the Crusaders do. They absorb pressure, and then they apply it, and then they turn that into points.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, like, it's not crazy at all to suggest the Crusaders are going to play pretty well. But how about sort of from the Highlanders' perspective? We haven't touched too much on their performance against the Chiefs. Sort of said, yeah, it was pretty lackluster. Few mistakes there that want to be cutting out. Certainly, Masusi Dawa in the right wing had a day to forget that one kick straight into touch. But he's been turfed out, and a couple of, I think, really promising changes they've made to their back line. The two Wellington-based double barrels, Umaga Jensen and Garden Bishop, both into the starting 15. Thomas Umaga Jensen looked enormous and was enormous when he came on with about 20 minutes. Him and Falau Fakatava sort of injected a bit of life into the Highlanders in that second half there. And then Connor Garden Bishop, who was close to best on ground in that game in Christchurch last year, we've referenced. I think that should certainly give the back line a bit of spark. He's sort of expecting a much change to Highlanders team, Richard?
Yeah, I mean, I think those smart changes there. There was two, like bring Garden Bishop and Gilbert to the right wing. I think they'll need more from Smith and Hunt. They weren't really able to do much to sort of control that game. Smith he came out quite strong, but I think he sort of as the game went on, those two sort of just struggled to control. I mean, it didn't help.
They didn't have any
errors and they had sort of nothing to go behind. Poor Aaron Smith getting hurdled over by Piliga Silvakula. See, there's a lot of chat about that being illegal. So I'm interested to see if there's any ruling that comes out from there. I thought it was great to see.
Get rid of anything fun from rugby, right? Yeah.
You heard the reserves like, he jumped over him.
That was very much NFL like.
Yeah, massively.
Well, that's what Aaron Smith tweeted after the game. He was like, now I know what it feels like when NFL players get hurdled.
So, I think because Fakatava, having him on the bench. So, I mean, there's some hope for them, but they'll just need to be so much better than they were. I think they just really got outplayed and outmuscled last week. So, I'm definitely siding with the Crusaders in this one.
Yeah, no. I take it you're also like, I know you're a big Garden Bishop fan in particular, Paul, but you're not thinking these changes can really do too much to bring the Highlanders into the same field as the Crusaders?
No, I don't think so. I think the Crusaders forward pack will probably dominate, and that'll reduce the amount of opportunities that the likes of Umaga Jensen and Garden Bishop get. So, although I was impressed, especially with Garden Bishop last season, I just don't think that they're going to get enough opportunities to showcase the skills that he has and Umaga Jensen as well. So I'm siding with the money at the moment. I do like the Crusaders this weekend.
Yeah, no, like I'm not going to put up too much of a fight. I just think, the Highlanders have probably got a bit of low-hanging fruit from last. So, like, they've got a very low base to come from. So being back under the roof as well is a bit of a positive. But it's hard to, like, I'm not going to.
I would have preferred to get on 9.5.
Yeah. I'm not going to tell anyone to take the 420, that's for sure. I do think the Crusaders will be winning this one, but I think it could be a pretty fun game. Even you think back to the first game of last season, they played under the roof. The Crusaders, I think, ended up winning by 12 or 14, but it was it looked like, I think they scored 2 quick tries late in the first half, and you were like, oh, the Crusaders are just going to run away with this.
Yeah.
And then the Highlanders really stuck on, and I don't think...
Cody Taylor scored a couple of tries.
Yeah. I don't think the Highlanders are going to have a flat spot like the Canes did, where they just concede 3 tries in 15 minutes. Like, just the way they play, that's not in their nature, whereas it is in the Hurricanes' nature. So that if the Crusaders can't dominate a game, they might not be able to get by on the individual moments, just with, I think, the Highlanders having a better defensive system overall. But it's like a lot of Crusaders games, it's a lot is going to have to go right for them to get tripped up, even without Mo'unga and Cody Taylor and co. But,